Hi, I'm Kyle Russell. Welcome to Arkansas Wushu. Today we'll be covering orange belt and Chuan Fa. It's also known as Kenpo. So let's go ahead and open up and get ready to cover that. Okay, so normally I warm up and stretch out. Today to cover more of this belt, I'm going to go ahead and forego that and go straight into the techniques. That way we can get more of the techniques down. So I covered a lot of orange belt in the last class, finishing off yellow belt. I'm going to go ahead and go back over it, and we'll do the whole belt hopefully before the class is over with. So we're going to start off with the first technique, which is called kimono grab. This is where they're grabbing you and pushing you back. So you're going to trap their hand, step back, hit right behind the elbow joint, bring the hand up, do an inward block, bringing the hand down, hit back to the throat, cat back, and do a snap kick. So let's go over that one more time. You're going to trap as you step back and bring the arm up. Circling around, strike down, back to the throat, cat back, and snap kick. So we're going to do that 5 times, and then we'll move on. I'll do it 4 times slowly so you can kind of follow along if you need to. And then on the 5th time, we'll do it like as if we were in a fight. 1, 2, 3, 'Explain it one more time. 4, trap, step back with a high block, do an inward block, downward at a 45-degree angle, knife hand back to the throat, cat back, kick to the groin, and cover. And on the 5th time, as if you were in a fight. And 5. All right, so that brings us on to the second technique. This technique, they're grabbing you by the hips or by the waist. Technique is called sumo. You're going to start off with an X block to the throat. Bring the elbows in tight as you step out right. Bring the arms out to the side, pushing the arms off of you. Right hand goes on top of the left. Thrust the fingers into the throat. Trap the hand. Step up with an elbow. As you step in, you're turning sideways. Use your hammer fist down to the groin, turning it away from the opponent. Open up the hand and bring your heel to the palm. All right, so again, we're going to do that 5 times. 4 times I'll do it slowly so you can follow along. And then on the 5th time, we'll do it as if we were in a fight. 1, X, push the arms off. Double spear hand, elbow, hammer fist, heel hook. 2, 3, 'If you're having trouble with these and need any extra help, just go back and check the previous class. Towards the end of it, we go over a lot of these techniques. 4, you can find all the classes from this year in a playlist on my channel called 2023 Live Classes. All right, 5th time, as if we're in a fight. And 5. Okay, so our next technique is called striking asp A. This is off an opponent grabbing us and pulling us in. So when they grab us, we're just going to grab them back, bringing our hand over both of their hands and trapping their left wrist. As they pull us in, we're going to let them and step in with our right foot. At the same time as we step, We'll do a ridge hand down to the growing. Alright, so right after that ridge hand to the growing, bring this hand up to your ear, almost like we're doing an inward block, but we're going to do a knife hand chop to the side of the neck. Same motion. And it's always a good idea to cover on your way out, get away from them, keep your hands up, check where you're at just in case the fight's not over. Oh, okay. So 5 times, 4 times slowly, 1 time as if we're fighting. 1, trap, step in with a ridge hand and a knife hand. 2, trap, ridge hand, knife hand. 3, ridge hand, knife hand. 4, trap, ridge hand, knife hand. Okay, and on the 5th time, we're going to do it as if we were in a fight. And 5. Alright, striking SB is very similar, just slight differences. First difference is instead of the growing, we're going to go to the solar plexus. Instead of an open ridge hand, we're going to close the fist, but we're going to push the middle knuckle out just a little bit further and put our thumb on the second knuckle of the second finger to hold that out. Called a middle knuckle punch. It puts all the force into a little bit smaller of an area just to give it a little bit, kind of like frogging a muscle. But we're doing that right there on that button to knock the breath out of it. Alright, so we're going to trap in. We step in with that middle knuckle punch to the solar plexus. Now, just like we came up to do the inward block with a knife hand chop before, we're doing the same thing, except for this time we're going to keep the inward block all the way across, but we're doing a hammer fist across the jaw. So from the solar plexus, we're coming sideways across the face like that. So after the hammer fist across the jaw, immediately we turn that into a knife hand chop and go straight back to the throat, and then we step out. All right, so we're going to do that 5 times, 4 times slowly, and then the 5th time as if we're in a fight. 1, middle knuckle punch, hammer fist, knife hand chop, cover. 2, trap, middle knuckle punch, hammer fist across the jaw, knife hand back to the throat. 3, trap, middle knuckle punch, hammer fist, knife hand. 4, okay, now as if you're in a fight. And 5. Alright, so now that brings us to striking FC. When striking FC, we know they're coming for us and we don't want to let them get a hold of us. So we're not going to wait for them to grab and push us back or grab and pull us forward. Instead, as soon as we see them here, we're going to stop them. The way we're going to do that, one is push this hand out. Basically stepping up and doing an extended outward block, pushing the hand out with your left hand. At the same time, you want to get a strike in with your right hand. So we're doing that ridge hand to the growing again. Straight right there. All right, and then everything else is just like the technique we did earlier called sumo. It follows the same exact pattern. We may have to do a bit more of a shuffle instead of a step because in sumo we were here. So from the spear hand, we stepped in because our feet were out. Whereas here, our foot's already forward. So to close distance with that elbow, I have to shuffle just a little bit and shuffle upwards. Okay, so after we step out, reach hand, shuffle into that elbow, and it's going to turn, hammer fist, and heel hook just the same as sumo was. So again, we're going to do it 4 times slowly, and then the 5th time as if we were in a fight. 1. X block, sorry, striking SC. 1. Outward extendward reach hand, elbow, hammer fist, kick. 2, send out our block with a reach hand, shuffle into an elbow, hammer fist, kick, and out. 3, step in, reach hand, shuffle in elbow, hammer fist, and kick, and out. 4, reach hand, elbow, hammer fist, kick. All right, last one, as if you were fighting. And 5. It's really good if you have a partner to practice these back and forth with. That way you can see how the body reacts, how they're going to act. Even better if you have opponents that are different sizes, so that you can see, how do these change whenever they're taller than you, whenever they're shorter than you, whenever they're a bigger or smaller person, whenever they're a lot stronger. You want to know how these different body sizes will affect the technique, so it won't be such a surprise if you ever do run into it. Okay, so let's move on. We've done kimono grab, sumo, striking grasp A, striking grasp B, and striking grasp C. So the next thing we're going to learn is some attacks from behind. So we're going to move on to these techniques, a small series called Crash the Eagle. We've got Crash the Eagle A, B, C, and D. So let's start with Crash the Eagle A. So here we start to learn the footwork a little bit. What you're going to want to do is take your left foot and just step over a little bit and touch your toe down. The focus at first is to try not to move these shoulders, because this person is choking or grabbing from the shoulders behind. So if they feel those shoulders move, they're going to clench up, they're going to tighten. But if they never feel them move, they're not going to prepare for the next attack. So while we do this, we generally keep our hands on what we call cup and saucer, which is just like this is the saucer, this is the cup, lying on top of it. And we take that small step over and try not to move the shoulders on that step. Okay, now this elbow is going to come straight up. And right as soon as it comes straight up, the body's going to pivot. This is where that step comes in really important. You don't want to step straight forward, because if you do that, that pivot will be really slow and awkward, and you'll have to readjust this foot or move it further over. Whereas if you step more sideways, whenever you take that initial step, that pivot's going to happen a lot faster. It's going to be just like on my hand to it. That back foot may not have to move at all. And that's what you want to happen with this technique. That way, as soon as they feel motion, it's too late. You're already around. Now you're facing them, and hopefully you have their arm trapped under your arm. If not, then we go into one of the other techniques. But for now, we'll say we have their arm. So we've done cup and saucer, stepped over, brought the elbow up, pivoted it over, and brought the arm down sharply. Now we're going to step up with an elbow coming directly underneath the chin and a back fist down, or what's called a vertical back fist. All right, so that technique, one more time before we get started. Step over, bring the shoulder or the elbow up, pivot, bring the arm down, shuffle in with an elbow up, and back fist to the nose. Called Crash the Eagle A. I'm going to do it 4 times slowly, and then on the 5th time, we'll do it as if we're fighting. All right. 1, step, pivot, trap, elbow, back fist, and then cover. 2, step over, come up and over, elbow straight up, back fist, and cover. 3, over, elbow straight up, back fist, and cover. 4, over, elbow up, back fist, and cover. And 5, step over, up, elbow up, and back fist. And once more, we gotta do it as if we're fighting, that way we practice it correctly. And 5. Alright, so there's not much difference in B. In B, we're a little more scared or whatever the case may be, we've got to do a little more damage. So everything's the same until after the elbow. The only thing that differs is instead of this back fist down on the nose, we're going to turn the hand over and bring our 2 fingers down into the eyes. So we're just taking out the eyes instead of hitting the nose. Only difference. So again, 4 times slowly, and on the 5th time as if we're fighting. 1. Come around, elbow, strike. 2, elbow, and I've always tried that called Falcon's Talon. If you've heard it called something else, let me know, but that's what I call that technique. If you take a different style, let me know. What do you guys call it in your style? Okay. 3, so it's around, elbow up, Falcon's Talon to the eyes, and down. 4. Alright, so that brings us 1 more. And 5. Okay, so our next technique is crash the eagle's teeth. What has happened here is this person has moved in too close. So we start this way, but whenever we come around, we can't get down in between the arms. We wind up coming over both arms because of how close they are. So if we go up, we're going to come more beside their head. So instead of doing a vertical elbow, we'll do a horizontal elbow across. So we start here, and as we do that horizontal elbow, we step in to a horse stance sideways. Kind of over twist the hips because that gives us a little space to come straight back to that elbow, which will hopefully hit him in the nose. So what you should do is come across, elbow across the jaw, and then the point of your elbow comes straight to the nose. All right, so let's do that 5 times, 4 times slowly, once with power and speed. All right, 1, step over, they're too close. Elbow across, elbow back. Again, 2, come across, elbow across, elbow back. 3, cup and saucer, step. You bring it over, but they were closer than you expected. So you elbow straight across and elbow straight back to the nose. 4, last one with power and speed. And 5. And I do keep all these classes up, so if you do ever have any trouble, you can always repeat them. You can go back and take all of my classes all the way back to the first class that I gave. Every live class I've ever done is still up, still available to watch. So please go watch them, learn the different lessons in them, see what you like, comment, let me know what you'd like to see more of, what you didn't like, and it'll help us give better classes in the future. Okay, so moving on. Let's go on to Crash the Eagle D. So it's another problem with distance where everything's the same until we've come around, but this time they're too far away. Even if we shuffle in with that elbow, we're going to miss them. So we need to use a long range technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight out into a half fist, but we're going to shuffle forward with that, giving us the arm. So a lot of distance covered with that technique, right? Come over, you're in this cat stance, kind of lift this leg up, kind of jump off that back leg, just shuffle in and strike with I call it a half fist, it can also be called a leopard's paw. All right. 1, come across, shuffle in with a half fist. Always be ready. 2, 3, 4, with speed and power. Fifth one. And 5. Okay. So that takes us through kimono grab, sumo, strong gasp A, strong gasp B, strong gasp C, crash the eagle A, crash the eagle B, crash the eagle C, crash the eagle D. So now that we're on our 10th technique, let's look at some more common attacks. Let's start off with a headlock. Headlock's real common. Person grabs you, pulls you down, has your head right there. They can hold you there, squeeze, pull you around, take you to the ground, whatever. So we know how to get out of that. Our first one is going to be really simple but pretty brutal. You can do this on either side because if they're left-handed, they go one, right-handed, they go the other. Usually I only teach techniques on one side because that's how I was taught, but it is good practice to do them on both sides. I'll probably try to incorporate more of that in as I do more classes. But for now, let's do this on one side because that's how we do all the other techniques. So we're going to say this person is right-handed. So they've jumped up and they've grabbed us and they've pulled us down, right? So they got our head, and where are we? We're going to be right here. So since our leg's probably going to be right there, what we're going to do is drop this knee right, pretty much right at their foot. Just kind of open their leg a little bit. And that'll give us access to take our hand straight up with a ridge hand. I'm going to do a tiger claw, grab and squeeze, and pull down. We want to do that 5 times. I generally don't do the wipe offs if I'm grabbing a hold or holding something because then I have to let go of my walk to wipe off. But it is good practice. You can still do it if you want. Okay. 1. Drop down to one knee, ridge hand, tiger claw, down. Wipe off. 2. 3, I get us in a headlock. We drop to one knee, ridge hand, grab, down. 4. And 5. Alright, so that's A. Now, next we're going to do B. B is a little bit more complicated. This time they're pulling us around. So not only are we down here, they're kind of pulling us too. So we're having to step to keep up with it. So on that first step, what we're going to do is 2 hammer fists. The right hand's going to go to the groin, the left hand to the kidney. But we step around with 3 hammer fists. This should loosen up their grip a little bit. So we're going to reach behind their head, grab their nose or their eyes, pull the head back, and do a leopard's paw or a half fist to the throat, and wipe off. All right, so let's do that 5 times. We'll go over it slowly, and then we'll do it fast. 1, step around, double hammer fist 3 times. Bring the left hand up around them, behind their head. Let's go ahead and take out eyes, pull back, and half fist to the throat. So I'm going to put my thumb and my index finger and the eye sockets and pulling the head back. We generally call that bowling ball effect, but it's basically an eagle claw to the eyes. 3, step up, 1, 2, 3, grab the eyes, pull back, hammer fist. 4, step up, 1, 2, 3, pull back, half fist. Last one, as if we're in a fight. And 5. Alright. So moving on. Headlock B. Sorry, that was headlock B. We did headlock A, we did headlock B. So let's move on from there. That's kimono grab, sumo, strong as A, B, C, crash eagle A, B, C, and D, and then headlock A and headlock B. Next, we have full Nelsons. Full Nelsons are more attacks from behind. Full Nelson is an attack where your attacker comes up behind you, brings your arms underneath your arms, grasps the back of your head, and pushes down. So you kind of wind up in this position with your hands up, with your head pressed down. Now, a couple of tricks before I show you these techniques, because these techniques are based on the idea that you stop them before they lock them in. They have locked them in as far as their grip because they'll link their fingers together and push on the back of your head, so you may have to open the hands. You can't just step out and pull the arms down once the fingers are locked. If you do it fast enough before they get there, great. If not, the worst part is they're going to push down on the head. When they push down on the head, that brings the spine out of alignment. It causes a lot of problems. So one of the best things you can do is to interlock your fingers and push back on your own forehead to keep your head straight, to keep everything in line. This way, when they push down on your head, there's resistance against it, and it doesn't really cause you any pain. After that, you can bring your arms straight down, keeping that interlocked there, and eventually it's going to give out because it's just their interlocked fingers against your biceps, your abs, and everything pulling down. So eventually they should wear down. Now, when they do wear down and that breaks and that comes down, then you can step out and go into the next part of the technique. So first one being Full Nelson A. It's a pretty complicated technique. What we do is we step out to the left and we trap. We're going to grab the hand and we're going to spin out into a wrist lock. So the best way to do this is to take the middle fingers and dig to the inside of the wrist. Put the thumbs on the back of their hand. Then as you step, you swing your left foot over. You're going to go in a clockwise circle. Bring your right foot back. And then push the hand down just like you're casting a fishing pole. So you've stepped out, you've grabbed the hand. Their hand's right here. So you've got your thumbs on the back of their hand and your fingers on their wrist. And then when you spin out, what's going to happen is their hand's going to turn upside down and be locked like this, right? Because I'm coming out and spinning over. Then when I press down, that's going to bend that wrist and lock them down. So now that they're right here and you have a hold of their wrist, you can shuffle in with a hammer fist right behind the elbow and break the arm. Immediately, we're going to grab the back of the hair, or the shirt, whatever we can get a hold of, and slam our knee into the nose or the side of the face, or whatever we can hit. So let's do this 4 times, really slowly, and then the 5th time as if we're in a fight. Because this one is pretty complicated. So Full Nelson A. Step out, lock the arms down. Trap the hand. Put in the fingers in the wrist, the thumbs on the back of the hand. Step out left, turning towards them. Bring your right foot back, and then push down on the thumbs to bring their head down. When their head comes down, kick to the nose. Step in with a hammer fist, grab, and knee. And then come out of that technique. All right, 3 more times. 2, step out and trap, grab. Step left, right, push down with the thumbs to bring their head down. Snap kick to the nose, hammer fist to the elbow. Grab the head, and knee. 3, step out and trap, dig your fingers in the wrist. Press down, snap kick, hammer fist, grab. 4, last time slowly. Step out to the left and bring the arms down to trap. Grab with both hands on one of their hands, digging the fingers in the wrist and pushing the thumbs on the back of the hand. Step over to the left and then swing your right foot behind you as you push the thumbs downwards. Do a snap kick to your opponent's nose. Bring your feet together and then step in, setting down into a side horse stance with a hammer fist right behind the elbow. Grab the back of the head and bring your knee up into the nose. All right. 5th time, on time 5, we go ahead and do it just as if we were in a fight. And 5. Okay, so next technique we have full Nelson B. And again, a full Nelson is whenever your opponent comes up behind you, brings their hands up underneath your arms, grabs the back of your head, and pushes down. So this time, when we step out, we want to bring the hands down to trap their arms. And our left foot is going to swing behind both of their legs. We should step all the way behind them. After we step behind them, this elbow is going to come up to their nose, and the hammer fist will hit them in the groin, which should knock your opponent over your leg. So they're coming up behind you to put you in the full Nelson. You step to the right and trap their hands. Bring your feet behind theirs and turn to knock them over. Elbow in the nose and hammer fist in the groin. And their head should land about there. So you're going to turn, step up, and do a side thrust kick to the side of the head as they're laying down. Okay, so again, we're going to do that 4 times slowly. And then on the 5th time, we'll do it a little bit faster as if you're in a fight. 1, step out to the right, trap. Step behind, elbow and hammer fist. Step up, heel kick to the side of the head. 2, step out, trap, step behind. Do an elbow and a hammer fist at the same time. Step up, bring the foot up, and do a side thrust kick to the side of the head. Then wipe off. 3. Accidentally step left. We'll make sure to step right on this one. And then step behind, hit, and kick. Of course, if you do step left, you just do full Nelson A. Step right, you B. Okay. 4, step out and trap. Step behind, elbow and hammer fist. Step up, side thrust kick. 5th one, as if we're in a fight. And 5. Okay. So next we have C. Full Nelson C. Again, they're still coming up behind you, putting their hands behind your head. So you're going to step out, you're going to trap. You're going to step behind. You're going to do a palm heel to the solar plexus. Palm into the groin, grab, and yank up without letting go. I'm going to go ahead and turn to wipe off. All right. 2, step out and trap. Step behind just like in B. Palm heel, tiger claw, rip up. Wipe off, wipe off. 3, step out right, trap, step behind, palm heel, tiger claw, and rip up. 4, step out and trap, step out, palm heel, grab, and rip up. And on 5, we do it as if we were in a fight. And 5. All right, so that's full Nelson C. So that takes us over kimono grab, sumo, striking asp A, striking asp B, striking asp C, crash the eagle A, crash the eagle B, crash the eagle C, crash the eagle D, headlock A, headlock B, full Nelson A, full Nelson B, and full Nelson C. So next, we're going to look into the bear hugs. There's 2 different ways we can do a bear hug, which is either pinned or free. Pinned meaning they have our arms as well. Free meaning our hands are free to do whatever. They didn't get hold of our arms. So I want to start with the easier version, which is the bear hug free A. This technique, we're just going to do it 5 times real quick. It's real simple. They've grabbed you around the waist. So 3 times you're going to hit both eardrums. And then you're going to put your fingers in this pressure point right behind the ear at the hinge of the jaw. You want to push and twist in there. You can either use 2 fingers or you can use your middle knuckle and just grind it in. Causes a lot of pain and it should cause them to let go. So 5 times real simple. Just 1, 2, 3 pressure points and wipe off. 2. All there is to that technique. Real simple one. Real easy one. 3. 4. 5. Alright, so now we're on to bear hug free B. Again, they're in front of you. They've got you around the waist, but your hands are free. So you're going to come from behind their head, over, and you're doing the bowling ball effect. So what you're doing is putting a thumb and an index finger in each eye socket and then stepping back and tilting back to expose the throat. When the throat's exposed, you're going to hit it with a half fist, also known as a leopard's paw. So what it should look like, they've grabbed you around the waist. You hide the hand behind their head. By the time they see it, your fingers are in their eyes. You step back, pulling the head back, and then half fist to the throat. Step back and push them away, just to be prepared in case they attack again or if you miss or something went wrong. Okay, we'll do that 5 times, 4 times slowly, and then the 5th time as if you're in a fight. So 1, come behind the head, grab the eyes, pull back, half fist, wipe off, wipe off. Starting with feet together. 2, bring the hand up behind them, straight into the eyes. Step up as you tilt the head back, half fist to the throat. Step back and push. 3, bring it up, eyes, tilt the head back, half fist. 4, last time we do it slowly, and then we'll do it as if we're in a fight. So bring the hand up behind them, grab the eyes, pull back, half fist to the throat, wipe off, wipe off. And 5, come up, grab the eyes, step back, half fist, 2 wipe offs. And that is headlock free B. Now headlock free C is a lot more complicated. This time, instead of being in front of you, the attacker is behind you. They have come up behind you and grabbed you behind the waist. So the first thing you're going to do is step out left. You're going to make a half fist, and we're hitting with these knuckles. We're using both hands, striking 3 times. And your target here is going to be right behind their knuckles, because whenever you hit with the edge of that right behind the knuckles, it's going to cause the hands to kind of open. So by hitting there, we're loosening the grip. So we step out left and we hit 3 times to loosen their grip. Once they've kind of let go, we grab one of their hands. Just like in full Nelson, we're going to try to dig these fingers into the inside of their wrist and put the thumbs on the back of the hand. All right, so now whenever we spin out, we step out left, we step out right, and we push down. What happens is they've come behind us and they've grabbed us, but then it's broken down. We've grabbed the hand, stepped out, turned their hand over, and turned it up here, putting them here in this wrist lock. So after we step out, hit 3 times to break the grip, grab the hand, digging these fingers in the wrist, putting thumbs on the back of the hand, step over left, going in a clockwise circle, bring your right leg back, and I usually compare this to fishing, just like you're casting a fishing pole. You're going to do a snap kick to the nose. When you sit down, bring your feet together, step up. You're going to do a hammer fist right behind the elbow. So with an arm like that, that's going to wind up breaking their arm. Immediately put your hand on the back of the head and drive your knee to the nose. All right, so let's go over that one more time, and then we'll do our repetitions. So we step out left, 2 half fists, 3 strikes to loosen the grip. Grab the hand, get the thumbs on the back of the hand and the fingers inside the wrist. Make a clockwise circle to spin out. You really want to step out far to get a straight arm. It'll make it easier to break the arm when you get to that hammer fist. You're going to kick the nose and then step in a hammer fist. If that arm is bent, it won't break. That step out far pulls that arm straight, Straight arms break a lot easier. Grab the back of the head and knee to the face. All right, so let's do that 4 times slowly, and then on the 5th time, we'll do it as if we're in a fight. All right, 1, step out and trap. Grab, thumbs on the back of the hand. Spin out, push the thumbs down. Snap kick, hammer fist, and knee. Wipe off, wipe off. 2, step out and trap. Grab the hand, spin out and push the thumbs down. Snap kick, break, knee. 4, step out, trap, 3 times strike, grab, spin out, push the thumbs down, snap kick, hammer fist, and knee to the nose. It's probably with it being so much like full Nelsons, it's easy to do the wrong technique, but they go together hand in hand. 4, last time slowly. Step out, 3 strikes. Grab the hand, spin out to a wrist lock. Snap kick to the nose, hammer fist to break the arm, knee to the nose, and wipe off. And that is bear hug free C. Next we get into bear hug pinned. Bear hug pin, they have our arms too. So the first one, they've come up in front of us and they've grabbed us in this bear hug, so we're body to body with our arms stuck. So the first thing we're going to do is simply turn the thumbs out into the groin. What we're trying to do is cause that reaction for them to jump back. Whenever they jump back, that's going to give us enough room to lift that knee up. That knee will hopefully draw them back a little further so that we can step forward again. So we're going to set down and do a palm heel to this bottom rib. You're just going to set down, put everything almost like a side vertical, but with a palm heel. You're going to try to break that rib. Okay, so slowly 4 times, and on the 5th time, as if we're in a fight. So, 1, thumbs out, knee up, step in, palm heel. Sometimes I use a bow, sometimes I turn sideways, depending on the distance. 2, thumbs, knee, palm heel. 3, turn the thumbs out, bring the knee up, palm heel. I keep forgetting to wipe off. Make sure it's covered. 4, thumbs, knee, and a palm heel. All right, and then we do that as if we're fighting. And 5. Okay, so that was bear hug pinned A. Bear hug pin B is kind of a weird one. This one there behind us, and they've grabbed us and our arms are pinned. So what we're going to do is we're going to step either way. I'm going to step to the left. I'm going to do a back fist to the groin. Because they've grabbed us, our arms are pretty much tied, so just keep your elbows tied to your waist. And you're going to turn your hips so you can strike the groin with the other hand. You do 3 strikes, and you're out. Hopefully getting that strike each time. So they've come up, bear hug, grab from behind, step out, strike the groin, twist the hips, 1 more time, and out. All right, 5 times. This one's real easy, so we'll do it pretty quick. 1, back fist, back fist, back fist, push them away. 2, step out left, right back fist. Turn the hips, left back fist. Right back fist, push away. 3, 1, 2, 3, push them away. 4, step out, 1, 2, 3, and push them away. And the 5th one is if we are in a fight. And 5. Okay, so that brings us to bear hug pinned C. So they've grabbed us again. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to step out left to drop the stance a little bit. Since they've got a hold of us, what that's going to do is it's going to drop their stance a little bit. So after we step out and widen, we're going to bring this foot behind us And basically we're just kicking sideways to the knee. Right after we hit that knee, we're doing a side thrust to the other knee. So it's step out left, basically just kick the knee by bringing the foot up backwards, and then do a side thrust kick to the other knee. Drag that down the shin and stomp on their toe. So from behind, they've grabbed you, they've stepped out. This knee kind of got taken. This knee got taken. You drug down the shin and you stomped on their toe. So now they should have let go, so that you should be able to get out of there. All right, so do that 5 times, 4 times slowly, once as if we're in a fight. 1, step out left, hit the knee, side thrust kick. Drag down the shin, stomp on the toe. Push them away. 2, knee, side thrust to the other knee, drag down the shin, stomp on the toe. 3, 1, 2, drag, stomp. 4, step out left, kick the knee, side thrust, drag down the shin, stomp on the toe. And the 5th time as if you're in a fight. And 5. Alright, so that's kimono grab, sumo, strong S A, strong S B, strong F C, crash eagle A, crash eagle B, crash eagle C, crash the eagle D, full Nelson A, full Nelson B, full Nelson C, headlock A, headlock B, bear hug free A, bear hug free B, bear hug free C, bear hug pinned A, bear hug pinned B, bear hug pinned C. So our last techniques are all locking the arm. Locking the arm techniques, they've come up, they've grabbed your arm, and they've pulled it up behind your back. So what you're going to do is you don't want to step forward, because when you step forward, it's going to increase the pressure on that arm. So you just want to kind of step sideways. Try not to move that arm too much. Step out sideways and bring the elbow up to the nose. As we're stepping out, when we're elbowing the nose, we're grabbing a hold of their wrist with our hand. We want to do a spin out. So we step up left, circling this arm up in a clockwise circle. Step back right, bringing that hand down. So what will happen to them is they've got your arm behind their back. They get hit in the nose, and then as you spin out, it'll just toss your arm and put them about right there. Doesn't finish the fight, but it gets them off of you and gives you distance, ready to go on to your next technique. Okay? So I'm going to do it facing an opposite direction each time, so you can see it from the front, see it from behind. And on the 5th time, we'll do it as if we were in a fight. So do it off the right hand. They've got your right hand pulled up behind your back. 1, step out, elbow, grab their wrist, step over left, just like we did in the full Nelson. Step back right and make a clockwise circle with your right hand. Let's do it again. Facing the other way. 2, so I step out right, elbow, grab their wrist, step out left, start my circle. When I get all the way to the top, I step back right and throw the arm down. 3, step out, elbow, grab their wrist. Step out left, bring the arm up, step back right, bring the arm down. Last time slowly, step out right with the left elbow to the nose. Grab the arm, step out left, start a clockwise circle. When you get to the 12 o'clock position, step back right, and then coming back into your wipe off. All right, and as if you were in a fight. And 5. All right, so next we have locking the arm B. Locking the arm B is not hugely different. The one difference is not only have they grabbed your arm and pulled it behind your back, but they have their other hand on your shoulder. Because their hand's right there on your shoulder, whenever you go to bring that elbow up, then you just bring that forearm and block it. But because they're in this position, they've left that midsection open. So when you step out, you're going to do an elbow to the solar plexus instead of to the nose. You're going to do a hammer fist down to the groin, and the rest of the technique stays the same. Stepping left, right with the throw. Alright, so the only difference is the elbow goes to solar plexus instead of the nose, and we add a hammer fist. So let's do it 4 times at a decent pace, and then the 5th time is at 4 and 5. 1, elbow, hammer fist, spin out, and throw. 2, step out, elbow, hammer fist, step left, step right. 3, step out right, elbow, hammer fist, spin out, and throw. 4, step out, elbow, hammer fist, step left, bringing the arm up, right, bringing it back. Last time, and we do this one as if you're wearing a 5. And 5. Alright, so this last one is locking the arm C. Well, actually, the last 2. We have an optional version after this one. We'll do it too. So, locking the arm C. They can have you either A or B. You can use either one. It doesn't matter. But whenever you do this spin out, whenever you step up and you bring the arm up, this time, you're going to grasp the hand. And you're trying to grasp the hand in such a way, basically use an eagle's claw, grab it to where your fingers are grabbing the inside of the wrist and your thumb is on the back of the hand. Same here, so you're stepping back into that wrist lock, like we used in bear hug free C and full Nelson A. So we'll do a lock the arm A for simplicity. So you step out right, elbow, step over left, and when you get this hand up, go ahead and do an eagle's claw grasp with the other hand, and then reposition the other hand as you step back and push the thumbs down. And once again, it is snap kick, step in with a hammer fist, grab the back of the head, and knee. We use that same ending in multiple techniques so that it becomes a habit, and you can just end multiple things that same way, or you can kind of transition and trade off with techniques and it doesn't matter. Okay. So, 2, step out, elbow, step up left, grab, re-grab as you step back right and lock. Snap kick, hammer fist, grab the head, and knee. 2 white balls. 4, step out, elbow, grab the wrist, step out, re-grab as you step back and lock the wrist. Snap kick to the nose, hammer fist right behind the arm, grab the back of the head, and knee to the nose. 4, elbow, out to your wrist lock. Kick, break, and knee. And the last one is if you're in a fight. And 5. Alright, so next, we have a locking the arm optional version. This is just a version that we kind of added on after so many years of practice because we kept accidentally winding up in this lock. They grab us, and we step out just like A when we do that elbow. This time, we want to grab that wrist, keep a hold of it, step behind them, do a counterclockwise circle. When we do that counterclockwise circle, it brings our arm over theirs, and then we bridge it and lock it right there. And that's it. So we just elbow, step behind them with a counterclockwise, come underneath the arm, and we can push on the chest, and if we turn, we break their arm. If we want to be really mean, we go down, do a tight claw, throw in while holding in the lock. Just depends on how mean we want to be. Okay? So we step out, elbow, step behind, lock. So that 5 times. 1, step out, elbow, step behind, keep a hold of their arm, don't let go. Bring that counterclockwise over, underneath their arm, and lock. Alright. 2, elbow, bring the arm over, underneath their arm, and lock. 3, step out an elbow, step behind, come over their arm, and lock. One more time slowly. 4, elbow, come over, and lock that. And 5, elbow, come over, and lock. All right, we've only got a few minutes left, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of stretching. Let's go ahead and put your legs twice the length of your shoulders. And let's bend this left leg all the way down to a drop stance. We'll hold that for a second. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these classes. I've done yellow belt for about 3 or 4 classes, and this is the second class on the orange belt. I think we'll do a third class because we still haven't gotten to the kicking set or the form. So that will probably be what I cover on Thursday. We did all the self-defense techniques today. That was every self-defense technique in this belt. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And if you want to see a list of these techniques to help you, you can go to arkansaswushu.com and click on styles, click on Chuan Fa. These techniques are listed under orange belt, and there will be a list there. If you click on it, it should have a step-by-step how to do them typed out. I've still got to do videos for them all. Just take me quite a while, so I apologize for that. All right, so let's go ahead and go out into a middle split stretch. Holding that for a second. All right, let's turn that into a front split stretch by just turning. Not going as far as I can today, just go until it's slightly uncomfortable. I want to overdo it. Didn't do a whole lot of warming up ahead of time, so all the techniques did give me a good warm up. Switch sides. But we do want to work on our flexibility and get a little more flexible each class. I may work on that next month. I haven't decided what series I'm doing yet. I'm debating between weight loss or flexibility, so let me know what you think. What do you think would be a better thing to cover for the month of March? Starts tomorrow. All right, so let's do a 30-second horse stance just to get it in. We'll start with your feet together. Go up on your toes, kick your heels out as wide as you can. Rock back on your heels, bring the toes out as wide as you can. And then kick the heels out one more time. And sit down until your legs are parallel to the floor. Hold your hands out. Keep your elbows in. Don't let them flare up to the side. And let's hold that for 30 seconds. Let's go. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And up. Thank you for joining me. As always, classes are free. We do enjoy any support we can get. If you want to donate to us, there's generally a way you can do it down in the link. Way you can do it down in the description. You can also go to our website and just hit on the donate tab. We use affiliate links, so if you'd like to buy some martial arts gear, we have a link for that in the description. That'll take you to Century Martial Arts. You can buy heavy bags, speed bags, uniforms, weapons, whatever you want. And all of that helps us out. If you want to do any of that, please hit the like and subscribe button. That helps us too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys Thursday. Hope you enjoyed the class. Let's go ahead and close out.